So deduction of equation of motion from graph. Okay, the first equation that we are going to deduce here is the third one, that is x equal to a naught b plus half a t square. We will deduce this, okay? We know an object moving with uniform acceleration, the equation of b is equal to v naught plus a d. Yes, we know this is the first equation. V is equal to v naught plus a d, which you used to know as v equal to u plus a d. Okay, for an object which is moving with uniform acceleration, we can apply this formula. Okay, now v versus t graph is drawn, taking time along x-axis and velocity t along y-axis. Okay, let us draw the graph as it is drawn in the book. Okay, now can anybody tell me whether the initial velocity is 0 or not? Is the initial velocity 0?
Yes, sir.
No.
The initial velocity is not 0. Very good. Because this is time t is equal to 0, right? This is time t is equal to 0. And at time t is equal to 0, I can see the velocity still has some value. This is what v naught is. Okay, this is v naught. Because you see at time 1 second, the velocity, if I want to find that, I will come here. This will give me the value of the velocity at time t is equal to 1 second. Likewise, time t is equal to 2 seconds, I will get the value of velocity from here. Okay, actually, this will give me the value of velocity, right? Now at 0 second, if the velocity was 0 at time 0, then the graph would have been like this. See, at time t is equal to 0, the velocity is also 0 because this is passing through the origin. But this line is not passing through the origin. That means at time t is equal to 0, the body is already having some velocity. So there is a value of initial velocity. The initial velocity is not 0. Okay. So be careful. Try to understand the graph. Okay. The graph will be talking to you. Okay.
স্যার কিছু দেখতেছি না।
দেখতেছো না?
না, অনেকক্ষণ ধরেই দেখতেছি না।
অন্যরা দেখতে পাচ্ছ?
ইভেন সাউন্ডও ব্রেক করতেছে। মেবি আমার নেটওয়ার্ক প্রবলেম।
আমার তাই মনে হয়। বাকিদের কারো সমস্যা হচ্ছে? সাদিয়া, তারিক, সাইফুল, নুরনবী, কিনান?
সাউন্ডটা একটু ভাইব্রেট হইতেছে, বাকি ঠিক আছে।
স্যার এখন একটু আসতেছে, স্ক্রিনটা আবার চলে যাইতেছে, আবার আসতেছে, কিন্তু ব্রেক হয়ে।
আচ্ছা, তুমি পরে তাহলে রেকর্ডিং থেকে দেখে নিও, ওকে? এখন আমি যতটুকু পারো শোনো। ওকে, so it will be a straight line that cuts y-axis and it obeys the equation y equal to mx plus c. Definitely this line will obey y equal to mx plus c this format. Why? Because y equal to mx plus c, this is the equation of a straight line, and whenever there is an uniform acceleration, the velocity versus time graph is also a straight line. Okay, because the acceleration is uniform, the velocity will increase at a constant rate. This is what we discussed in the last class. If you remember, we know if we draw a perpendicular on x-axis from any point of the graph, the area of the quadrilateral produced thereby indicates the product of B and T. Yes, what they have said, if I take any point on the graph and draw a perpendicular on x-axis, then what will happen? I will have produced a rectangle, not rectangle, a quadrilateral, sorry, an area which will be bounded by four sides, a quadrilateral. It is a trapezium actually. So if I can find out the area of this one, it will give me the product of velocity and time. Now we know S is equal to Vt. We know this, right? That is for uniform velocity. Acha. We know if we draw perpendicular on x-axis from any point of the graph, the area of the quadrilateral produced thereby indicates the product of B and T, and that is what is covered distance. This is what I just said, right? The product of velocity and time, it will give you the distance. We take any point P on the line AB. As I have done here, they have named this point as P. Okay, and this line they have named as AB. On the same time AB, I have taken a point P. PQ is the perpendicular drawn on x-axis. From P, if I draw perpendicular, let us say this is PQ, then the distance covered in time OQ. OQ. This is O and this is Q. So OQ. Okay. If OQ will be equal to T, this one will be equal to our time T. Because along x-axis we have plotted time. Will be equal to the area A of QP. Yes, in this T time, what is the distance covered? You will be able to tell that the distance covered if I can calculate the area of this AOQP area. Okay. Let the uniform acceleration of particle A, we know that initial velocity V naught is equal to OA. COA, this is the initial velocity. Time T is equal to OQ. Yes, T is equal to OQ. The distance covered in time S is equal to area of A of PQ. You can write this. S is equal to area of A O Q P. Now this area, if I want to calculate this area, I can use the formula of trapezium. Okay, I can do that, or I can do this, that I will divide the whole area into two parts, a rectangle, a triangle, and a rectangle. Okay, so I will find out the area of this triangle, I will find out the area of this rectangle, and if I add them up, then I can find out the total area, right? So to find out the area of the triangle, we know that it is half into base into height. Now base, this one I must know. This is the point they have represented R. So this is the base. Base is equal to this one, right? P. So base we know. But what about this one? What about this PR? Can anybody tell me what will be PR equal to? Area of AOQR, this is a rectangle, so length into breadth. Okay. So now, what are the values that we know? Half AR. AR is equal to T. We already know, so we will take this T into PR. This will be there. Then OQ. OQ, this is also equal to T. And OA. OA is equal to V naught. So it will be V naught. Okay. So if I rearrange a little bit, V naught T plus half T into PR. So you see we are almost there. We want to prove S is equal to, S is here already, V naught T, half T square. Half T is there. We need to find out the value of PR only. Okay. Now how can I find out the value of PR? If you remember, if I want to find out the acceleration is the slope of the velocity versus time graph. So if I want to find out the slope here, how can I find out? The rise overrun, right? So I can write the slope is PR divided by AR. So I need to find out the value of PR. So it will be equal to A into AR. Now what is AR? That is T. So this will be equal to AT. Did you understand that the slope is, I think I should write this line here. Slope, that is acceleration here. It will be rise over run. We know this from vector and coordinate geometry, right? So rise is how much we got up, that is PR, and run, how much we ran. So run is AR and rise is PR. Okay. So AR, if you replace the value, it will become 80. Now replace the value of 80, sorry, PR here, then you will get S equal to V naught T plus half P into 80. So S equal to V naught T plus half A T square. We have proved. Anybody have any doubt in this equation?
No.
Understood, Sadia? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Saiful, Tariq, what about you?
Understood.
Yes, sir, I understood.
Okay. So now let us see the deduction of the fourth equation, that is V square equal to V naught square plus 2AS. We know for an object moving with uniform acceleration, yes, we know V is equal to V naught plus AT. Yes, we know this. Okay, and definitely this will be following y to the mx plus c because this is a straight line. We know if we draw perpendicular x, this is the same description again. Okay, from E we will draw a perpendicular and it will create a quadrilateral. If we calculate the area of the quadrilateral, it will give me the distance. So it is the same thing. Okay, so I will cut it short. Again, we know that S is equal to area of A of QP. Distance is equal to area of A of QP. Now, this area can be divided into two parts. That is area of the rectangle AOQR. AOQR plus the area of the triangle ARP. So, if I want to calculate AOQR, it will be OQ into OA. OQ into OA, length into breadth, plus half into base into height, it is the area of the triangle, base is AR, and height will be PR. PR into PR. Okay. So OQ into OA, OQ into OA, let it be as it is, plus this one, I can write it as this is divided by 2. AR is equal to AR is equal to OQ, right? So AR can be written as OQ. After that, they have taken this OQ common. We have OQ. So if I take OQ common, then what will happen? Here OA will be remaining plus it will be PR divided by 2. Then if I do the LCM, it will be 2OA plus PR. Up to now, clear? From here divided by 2, if I, this is S, right? If I cross multiply 2S, it will be OQ into 2OA plus PR. Kindly let me know, unmute yourself and talk if you have any doubt at any point, okay? Then what they have done, 2s is equal to OQ into 2OA, right? So they have written as OA plus OA plus PR. OA can be written as QR. Yes, OA, this can be written as QR also. So OQ. One OA will be OA, the next OA will be written as QR. We can do this. OA and QR, they are equal to each other. Now QR plus PR, this becomes QP, right? Or PQ. QR plus PR. QR is this part, PR is this part, so it will become the total perpendicular. So I can write OA plus PQ. Okay. This OQ is equal to AR. So if I want, I can write AR into OA plus PQ. This can be done. Okay. Then again, slope. We know that acceleration, that is the slope, is equal to rise PR over run, that is AR. So from here, if I want to find out the value of AR, then I can write PR divided by A. Just cross multiply. So I will just replace the value of AR into this equation. If I put it there, then what will it become? This equation is 2s on the left hand side. So 2s will be equal to AR, it will be replaced by PR by A into OA plus PQ. So now we will replace the value of OA. What is OA? OA is the initial velocity V0. So I can write V0 here. And PQ. PQ is the total velocity, right? At point Q, what is the velocity? This is the velocity which is equal to PQ. So PQ can be replaced by P. Okay? And PR, this one as I showed you, this is V0. This total is V, so the gap between them is going to be P minus P0. So PR can be replaced as E minus P0, and here we have V0 plus B, 2S. So A I will cross multiply, it will become 2AS, and it will be A plus B, K minus B formula. So A square minus B square. So V0 square, if I change the side, it will be B square equal to V0 square plus 2AS. Okay, this is a little bit lengthy derivation, but it can be done. Okay, so again, the derivation you need not to memorize. All you need to do is to understand, because this concept will help you to solve numerical problem in future. Okay, so and try to understand. Okay, do not skip. And if you have any doubt, you may let me know in the next class, as our class time is over today. Okay, inshallah, we will discuss about your doubts in the next class. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam.